What's up, guys? It's Jared, aka Champ. I'd like to give a couple of shout outs before I start. I'd like to say thank you to my haters from last season who's saying I was handed the chip. I earned it. I worked hard for it. I didn't quit. Even though at times I wanted to. I wanted to quit and just say, all right, let's tank for next season. See what happens. But I kept with it and finally came through with one after all these years, and it feels good. I'd like to give a shout out to my boy Jason. Glad to have you back. No amount of earnings can replace you, brother. Glad to have you back this season. Missed you last year. I was down for giving all our earnings to you to have you back. Can't wait to see you. David, thank you for everything that you do for this league. I expect the interview. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started. Hoping for a repeat this season, and hopefully this core of guys will help me do that. First off, Curtis Samuel and Keenan Allen. Pretty easy. I traded for these guys. And the reason for trading for Curtis Samuel, he had 47 touches last season. He had 7 touchdowns on those touches. He's in line for a lot more targets this season. We use him in the running game. We use him in the passing game. And I feel like he's going to take another step in production this season. Keenan Allen, top 10 wide receiver in my opinion. Him and Phillip Rivers have a great chemistry. I feel like with the emergence of Mike Williams and the return of Hunter Henry, teams just can't key in on him. So I feel like as long as Phillip Rivers keeps slinging the rock, he'll be fine. Number 3, Bruce Arians has a lot to do with why I wanted to keep Mike Evans. Bruce Arians is a hell of a head coach. He's a good offensive coordinator. I feel like he's going to get Jameis Winston back to that number 1 overall pick we all expected him to be. Mike Evans has never had less than 1,000 yards in any season, so I felt like having 2 wide receiver 1s would take my team to another level. 4 and 5 are a little bit more difficult, but as you can see, I have 2 wide receiver 1s, a decent flex, but no running backs. So I wanted to go ahead and at least have some running backs on the squad before I go into the draft. So first off, Sony Michel, good young running back. He was a big part of the reason that the Patriots won the Super Bowl. He played well in the playoffs. He didn't shy away from the spotlight. I feel like he's going to extend Tom Brady's career. They're starting to use him a lot more in the passing game now, from what I've seen in training camp. If that goes over into the season, as far as transfers, them using him in the passing game, I feel like he could be a top 20 running back in fantasy, hopefully top 15. Then number 5, it was a little bit more difficult because of the guys that I had to weigh opportunity plus value and production, and Derrick Henry did not make the cut. He had 238 yards against the Jags, but other than that, it wasn't impressive, especially for the price of $24, and it's just going to increase next year. Darius Geis, the value is there, but I have no idea what I'm about to get from him. I feel like it was just another Dalvin Cook situation, just cheaper, and I couldn't afford that, having somebody in my lineup not being available, then putting him on the bench, and then he balls out the week after, so I had to let him go. Hopefully he's a baller. The last guy, Kalen Ballage, I felt like opportunity and value were right there, and hopefully it turns into the production that I was talking about. Kalen Ballage is going to be the starting running back for the Miami Dolphins because Kenyon Drake was spotted on the sidelines at practice with a walking boot. So not hopefully, but I'm expecting Kenyon Drake to miss a lot of time with the walking boot issue. Don't know exactly what the injury is, but it's his feet, and that's very important for anybody who plays in the NFL outside of a quarterback. So I'm hoping that Kalen Ballage can be effective in the running and the passing game because the offensive line from Miami is bad. So they're going to probably check down. They're probably going to use him to relieve the quarterbacks from being hit all the time. So with these group of guys, I'm hoping that I'm able to repeat in prestige this year. Curtis Samuel, Keenan Allen, Mike Evans, Sony Michel, and Kalen Ballage. It leaves me a decent amount to play around with in the draft. It also gives me a decent core. I don't have to really go into the draft just being focused on one area completely right now. And hopefully this is just step one to a repeat. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Can't wait to see you. Jason's back. That's always great. It's coming up in a couple weeks. Hopefully you guys are ready. I know I am. All right. Prestige Java.
What's going on, Fantasy Family? It's your boy Kamal back at it again. 2019 Keepers. I'm definitely excited to start the season. Excited to see everybody. Looking for a good draft. But I know I'm not going to be much involved due to the amount of money that I'll be spending on these keepers that I'm about to announce. So it'll be fun watching y'all have fun getting all these fucking talent in the draft. And all right, anyways, first keeper, AB. Definitely not happy with the bullshit that's been going on. Yeah, you can hear the aggression and it's all real, but it is what it is, man. I'm gonna live with the situation that I'm in and hope that he comes through, starts out the season, and does exactly what I plan on him doing when I traded for him, and that's gonna be to get targets and make something happen with him. In that trade, I did make a move involving Zach Ertz, so obviously, maybe not so obvious, I'll be keeping O.J. Howard as my second keeper. $2 keeper value. I'm just gonna bank on a top 5 tight end from him, and not far behind the production of Zach Ertz. All right. Sorry, I had to make sure it wasn't work. All right, third keeper and fourth. I'll announce them together. Gurley and Mixon. Todd Gurley, Joe Mixon, both running backs, starting running backs currently, and healthy enough to play. So they're both at great prices. There's plenty of other running backs that'll be kept at a higher value. So I'm really not concerned with keeping both of those backs, and I like my running backs. All right. So last but not least, long debate between Kenny Golladay and Darius Leonard, and I mean, for the longest it was Kenny Golladay. I wasn't even second guessing it. And then, I just started to think, what happened with Tyreek Hill last year? How did I myself? Like, hey, if you believe in a player, pay the price, get him while you can, and roll with him. So Darius Leonard will be my fifth keeper, and I'm banking on him being definitely a top 5 IDP player and number 1 again. So doesn't work out. That's $14. I'll take my bet. I may be able to draft him for 8, but everybody knows what he did last year. He's a game changer, and I'm trying to change the game. Do say, players. See you soon.
Prestige. What's going on, boys? It's great to be back. So Sun Tzu says my keepers are: first selection out of New England, running back James White, $10. Listen, as long as Brady's in New England, they're going to dump the ball off. And there is nobody better in the business than James White than catching the ball out of the backfield. For $10, I thought it was a no-brainer to bring him back. And if he gets anywhere close to his production last year, I'll make my money 2 or 3 fold. My next selection will be wide receiver out of Pittsburgh, JuJu Smith-Schuster. JuJu's costing me $4. I don't think you can bring me a better player in the league for that amount of money. So we're bringing JuJu back and looking for great things now that AB's gone. My next selection opposite him is going to be wide receiver from Kansas City in the prolific offense, Tyreek Hill. Tyreek's going to cost me about $59, the most I'm going to pay for any of my keepers. But he is still significantly lower than what he probably would have netted in the draft. So we're bringing Tyreek back, and it looks like I'm going to have him for the whole season, which I'm thankful for. The tight end from Kansas City is my 4th selection, Travis Kelce, for $42. But what that gets me is every single week a mismatch at tight end where I will be favored at tight end. So, and quite honestly, he's worth wide receiver money, so Tyreek Hill is coming back. And probably the biggest surprise of the draft, ladies and gentlemen, would be my selection of wide receiver from the Seattle Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett's costing me $6, currently being ranked at about 17, 18, 19 in most mocks, up there with the likes of Julian Edelman, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp. And for $6, you're not going to get any of those guys. So we're bringing them back. So what does that mean? Notably, Russell Wilson has been dropped. Russell just got to a point where I couldn't afford him, and he's just simply a salary cap casualty. And then lastly, obviously, everyone's been waiting. I had to go to war. Melvin wasn't on my team, and I absolutely love Melvin Gordon. He's a Wisconsin running back. But I can't use you, Melvin. I need you on the field. And that's my keepers this year, boys. Good luck. I can't wait. I'm super excited, and hope you guys have a great week at the draft. Peace.
Good evening, PFC. I'm here sipping on the finest well-aged grape Gatorade and listening to Beethoven through my privilege pods because I am Mike Priv II, and I'm here to announce my keepers. So with the first keeper selection, the best keeper, Alvin Kamara. With my second selection will go to Calvin Ridley for the Falcons. Third selection will go to the Stefon Diggs for the Minnesota Vikings. With my fourth selection, the number one receiver in the NFL, DeAndre Hopkins. And with my last selection, well, the best of them all, the Christian McCaffrey. I wish you all the best this year.
What it do? I want to say a few words before I announce my keepers. Just like to emphasize and want to make sure I reiterate how much I genuinely appreciate you guys including me in this league. David, God, 4 years now that I'm in it. But anyways, as you all know, I had some very testing and troubling past year that I'm extremely not happy about, ashamed of. And again, I just can't express how much I appreciate knowing that I had you guys in my corner like that, man. So without sounding all emotional and shit, man, I just want to make sure that I tell you guys I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for having my back and even just still fucking with me. So, yeah, man, I can't wait to see you guys, man. I've been crossing off the days, God, for the longest. So I'm definitely excited for this year. Anyways, side note, Huncho ENT, we will be taking Marlon Mack, Odell Beckham Jr., Amari Cooper, Damian Williams, and to round it off, Zach Ertz. Deuces.
All right, fellas, what it do? It's time. It's been a crazy couple weeks, and it's only going to get crazier from here, I already know. So let me go ahead and knock my keepers out of the way. I'm not going to try to be too long-winded, but we'll see how it goes. Number 1, first pick, first cornerstone of the Commission's squad. Might be a bit of surprise, but Matty Ice. We're going to go with a top 5 QB. It's actually number 2 last year. He was up there with number 1 and kind of going back and forth battling. But, you know, we're going to lock him up, $4, great value. Ain't got to worry about no quarterback for the remainder of the year. Number 2, the chef, Dalvin Cook it up. Dalvin Cook it up. Running back, Minnesota. They want to run the ball this year, so I'm going to pick him up. Let's see if he can make it. At least give me 13 good ones. Hopefully a run like the end of last year, can continue on. All right, number 3, Money Mike, flexing on him. One of the best values in the league, nothing else really to be said. Number 4, you know, the guy, he loves him so much, and so does that scarecrow up in Dallas, Jerry Jones, you know. But I'm going to roll the dice. Hopefully I don't crap out this year, man. We're rolling with Zeke, taking it home, you know. And then this year, my final keeper. Had to weigh on this option heavy, but take it in. Take it in. He is risen. He has returned for his seat above the fantasy football world on his throne. He's taking it back. Number 1 fantasy running back in Prestige 2019. I'm telling you right now. He's going to ball. He's going to remind y'all boys why he's valued himself so goddamn high. Good luck in the draft, fellas. Good luck.
Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
What's up, Prestige? It's your boy, the Crystal Methodist. You know, the OG Mike Priv. Big Coupon, here to announce his 2019 Prestige Fantasy Cartel Army of Keepers. Now, I know you all have been wondering, what's Priv been up to? A lot of you been sliding in my DMs, trying to ask me about certain things, trying to minimize the value of certain players I got. But the reality is, I got the best core coming into the draft and a big ass bank. So let's get into it. Number one, I'm keeping Sir Julio Jones of Castle Falcon, $73. I just couldn't reconcile letting him go back to one of you dweebs. You know what I'm saying? He's staying with the squad. Veteran leadership. He's going to be flanked by my boy Adam, $27. Adam and Julio, they're just going to wreck shit all year. You're going to catch wreck one way or the other. Number three, my boy George Kittle. I think he set some records last year, but that is truly big coupon. $2. $2 for George Kittle. I want y'all to remember that. $2. Fourth, the one everybody's got a chub for. That's right. Nicky of Castle Brown. He coming home for $6. And then finally, Lil CC, 14.
What's going on, guys? Astro Thunder checking in. Do my 5 keepers real quick because I'm at work. All right, we got Jordan Howard. Then we got Tyreek Cohen. And we got Robert Woods. So Ryan Anderson, whatever his name is, wide receiver from the Jets. Then I'm going with Austin Eckler. That's it. Astro Thunder checking out. Back to work.
You're in the mix with Bro City's hottest DJ, DJ Chili Chill. Holla at your boy.
The Donald. Welcome to the doghouse. Here are my keepers for the 2019 Fantasy Cartel season. The number 5 keeper, Eric Ebron. Hoping he can repeat last season's great season. Number 4 keeper, Jamil Mack, the offensive killer. Gonna do big things this season. The number 3 keeper, Aaron Jones, the breakout years for the Packers. The number 2 keeper, Kerryon Johnson, the next superstar in the National Football League. The last keeper, call the cops. It's a steal. Devontae Adams, gonna have an awesome season and carry the Kerryon the Wayward Sons to the chip. Holla at your boy.
Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to read you from Breezy's Fairy Tales. These will be my picks. First off, the goose that will lay the golden eggs in the end zone, Latavius Murray, running back, New Orleans. Followed by the big bad wolf, David Johnson, running back, Arizona. He'll be followed by my 3 little pigs. Christian Kirk, wide receiver, Arizona. Deshaun Jackson, wide receiver, Philadelphia. James Washington, wide receiver, Pittsburgh. I think I did that in under a minute, so there you go. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Pat Mahomes, Kiki, Geronimo Allison, Jalen Samuels, and last but not least, Florida's finest, Peyton Barber.